Hey everybody, what's up? I am so excited to see you guys tonight. We're going to have a lot of fun. I have a jam-packed show lineup for you guys, and it is just going to be incredible. I wish I had like more special effects on this program, so I could just like every word I say just be like a comic book and just be like, you know how they do in a comic book, like boom, and you know, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I mean, it is what it is. But welcome everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. For those of you tuning in on Facebook and YouTube, thank you guys for tuning in. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have some fun. That's all I gotta say. And I hope you guys like the new little intro and all that we had going on. It's a new show now. We've changed the name of the show, so it's a brand new show. So I said, let's just change every doggone thing. So we changed it all. So anyway, welcome to the show. We're going to have some fun. Got my special guest tonight, Mr. Caden Gamblin and Mr. Victor Trevino Jr. They are as excited as I am, and they're ready to chat with me and you guys. So y'all got to make sure you stick around for the whole show and don't leave because it's going to be incredible. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Let's go ahead and check some of these comments and see who we have tuning in tonight. Let's scroll all the way up to the top. We have Pam from Alabama tuning in. How are you? We have Diane. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for tuning in. Miss Kathy, how are you? I hope you're doing well. I just saw you like a week ago or so. It's great to see you on here again. Let's see, Melissa. Thank you so much for tuning in. Miss Dorothy Wilson. Thank you so much. Let's see who else we got tuning in all the way from the great country of Canada. I love Canada, ladies and gentlemen. I'm ready to go back. I'm ready to come see you guys. Margaret, thanks so much for tuning in. We got Donna from Texas tuning in tonight. We won't be able to get to everybody's comment, but we'll get to as many as we can. Becky, thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, look who's tuning in. Vicky and Dwight, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you guys are doing well. Miss you guys. And also, I want to give a shout out while they're on here watching. If you haven't seen Dwight's show, Dwight Eisenhower, Dwight Eisenhower, let me rephrase that. You guys need to go check that out. It's the Dwight Eisenhower show. It's on YouTube. Go check it out. It's an awesome show. I love watching it every week. And so go and check it out. And thank you, Vicky and Dwight, for tuning in tonight. I greatly appreciate that very, very much. Cassidy, hello. Thank you for tuning in. Miss Penny, let's try to get to as many as we can here. All right, Sandra, thanks so much for tuning in. Oh, we have so many. Let's grab a few more down here at the bottom that's just now tuning in. Let's see. These comments go so fast, I can't keep up with these things. Hey, Nancy from Maine, thank you so much. Manika Falls, it was great meeting you as well. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Craig, who else? Amanda, thank you guys so much. Thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate it very, very much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're tuning in right now, if you will, please do me a huge favor. Please make sure you like, comment, and share this show tonight all across your social media pages on Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're watching from. Please do that. And if you're watching on YouTube, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button for the What's Up with Austin YouTube channel. I greatly appreciate that very, very much as well. You'll automatically get notified every time I go live or when a video is posted or something like that. So make sure you do that as well. And also, if you're watching on Facebook, hit that like button on the Austin Be Entertainer Light page. Really appreciate that as well. And give me a follow on Instagram. You know, our last episode that we did before doing this whole transition thing, I had my Instagram. I don't really do much on it, but now I'm starting to do a lot more. I had like, I don't know, like maybe 700 followers on Instagram. And I asked you guys before the new year got here to help me reach the 1,000 mark. And you guys have helped me reach that and beyond. So I think we're like at 1,030 right now or something like that. So thank you guys so much for that. I greatly appreciate it. Please continue. You have no clue how much that means to me and helps me as well. Also, if you're tuning in and you would like to send a donation to the show, it's not mandatory, but it does help with all these little gadgets that's on the screen. You can send it via PayPal to AIElvisLive1@gmail.com. Also, in the description on the video on Facebook here and YouTube right now, there is a link. You can easily click that link and it takes you straight to where you need to go to donate. So it's completely up to you guys. Greatly appreciate that very, very much. All righty, let's go ahead and press forward here. I want to tell you guys, you know what? It's a new year, so I decided a new show. Why not? A new year, new show. Y'all saw me post where I said new style, new year. Well, that's the whole thing. It's a new style and new year. I don't know if any of you that are tuning in right now, if you saw my post when I made the post about doing this transition with the show. I'll just brief you on it. I won't go all into detail because we're not here to talk about all that tonight. We're here to chat with my friends. But I want to tell you guys, I just want to give you a big thank you for, you know, all of y'all tuning in every week and watching these shows and, you know, watching on YouTube, sharing, commenting and all that stuff. You have no clue how much it means to me. I greatly appreciate it very, very much. And Weekly Chats with Austin was awesome. It was great. It was fun. I enjoyed it. But you know, my show schedule is starting to pick back up now. So it's gonna, you know, it's kind of hard for me to, you know, try to do a show every week now. So that's why I decided to transition the entire show, give it a new title, a new theme, a new style. And so that's why we went from Weekly Chats with Austin to What's Up with Austin. So if you guys see, if you're wondering like, what is he doing here? What's Up with Austin really is Weekly Chats with Austin. It's just a whole new name and a new style. So when you see that posted on Facebook for now, you know what I'm talking about. So and make sure you hashtag What's Up with Austin, because that really helps me out a lot too. So please do that as well. So thank y'all for making this show that I just started back in November 2019. Just did 5 little episodes. I wasn't even thinking anything about it. It was just something I wanted to do to talk with you guys. And, you know, for those of you who, you know, are not able to come to all my shows, and you guys turn this into a worldwide talk show. I mean, we have people, as y'all can see, Canada, Brazil, everybody tunes in from all around the world. All my guests are from all around the world and all around the U.S. So it's become worldwide, and it's all because of you guys. So thank you all very much for that. Well, I want to update you guys because since this show is called What's Up with Austin, we're going to start doing a segment called What's Up with Austin. So here's what's up with me right now. I think last week, if I'm correct, or the week before, I'm losing track, ladies and gentlemen. It's 2021. The world's spinning way too fast. It's fixing to be my birthday, man. I'm getting old, so y'all got to bear with me. But anyway, we was in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee at the Grand Majestic Theater. Man, it was an awesome time. Some of you are tuning in right now. We're there. It was great. We did 2 shows. We did one on Friday night, and it was awesome. We kind of did music that kind of influenced Elvis and influenced us all at the same time. And it was awesome. It was fun. And then the second night, man, Reflections on Elvis. I'm going to be honest with all of you watching right now. That is probably my favorite show and probably one of the funnest shows I've ever done in my entire years of being an entertainer. And I started in 2012 professionally. That is probably my favorite one. And I could do it multiple times a day and never get tired of it. And I want to give a shout out to Michael Chambliss, Travis Powell, Matt Cordell, Samantha Chambliss, Tasha Cordell, Jill Speaker. Everybody was a part of the show, the entire staff and the light and sound crew at the Majestic. Man, they just made the show, the light and sound crew made the show more incredible with all the awesome work that they did and put into it. And it was awesome. It was fun. And I believe, just to let you know, for those of you who were not able to come to that show and see it live, I think they're possibly selling DVDs of this show. If you want to just go to the Grand Majestic Theater on Google that and go to their website. I believe they might be and still be selling those. I'm not sure. I have to check on that, but I think they might be because you need a copy of it because it was just, my mind was blown. I think all of our minds were blown. We walked off stage. We were just like, we can't believe that just happened. It was incredible. And we're super excited to be going back. But that's what happened. What's up with me last week? What's been going on? I've been home for the past week or so and just been chilling, working on this for you guys. Actually going to be hitting in the studio here very soon. I told you guys last year that I was going to be working on an EP of songs that were kind of, my uncle has written a lot of gospel music, and he has given me the opportunity to record them and kind of make them my own. So we're going to be getting in the studio here very soon and get that recorded. The title of the EP is going to be called We Will Rise. It's one of the songs that I'll be recording, and I can't wait to release that with you guys. And a lot of more exciting things coming this year. We got the Austin to Be For Real tour. We got some shows coming up we're going to talk to you about. And I'm just glad 2020 is gone. And I know that 2021 is going to be better. So that's what's up with me. I hope all of y'all are doing well. My family and I are doing well right now. And so God's good. That's all I can say. But let's go ahead and talk about this right here. Let me go over, scroll down here. I got some new gadgets on here, so I might get a little lost every once in a while. But let's talk about this right here. This show was actually, let me take this banner off, was actually supposed to be, I think, a couple of weeks ago. It was supposed to be on January the 16th. And due to the COVID spikes and all that stuff, the theater decided to wait a couple of weeks. So this show is happening next weekend at the Abbeville Opry House. For those of you who live in South Carolina, my South Carolina friends, come out and see myself and my good friend Jacob Etter at the Abbeville Opera House, January the 30th, 7:30 p.m. Get your tickets now. Visit AbbevilleCitySC.com, and you can get your tickets right there on that website. From what we heard yesterday, ticket sales are booming right now. They're booming really good. So we're super excited about that, and hope you guys will come out and see us. They're going to social distance. I think face masks, I'm pretty sure face masks are required. I think they have to be worn during the performance also. So they're going to make sure they take very good care of all of you guys. So make sure you come out and see us next week, myself and Jacob. Let's press on to this show right here. We're super excited about this show. We got to do it last year one time. We were supposed to be doing it more than one time. But this thing, COVID, came along and kind of ruined that. So we're starting over this year. And we're going to be doing my brand new show called the American Jukebox Extravaganza. It's a tribute to some of the greatest artists out there. And it's February the 6th, which is just a couple weeks away, right here in my hometown in Honey Pass, South Carolina. Watkins Community Center, myself, Michael Chambliss, Samantha Chambliss, my great friend, Mr. Dwight Bozeman. You're going to see tributes to Elvis Presley, Garth Brooks, Connie Francis, Little Richard, a whole lot more. And you're going to hear some of your favorite jukebox songs as well. And who knows? You guys know me. When you come to my shows, I pull all kind of crazy things out of the hat. So who knows what'll happen? But doors open at 6:30. Showtimes at 7. Social distancing and COVID protocols will be implemented. We are for sure to keep you guys safe. That is our goal. So if you feel comfortable in getting out and want to come see an awesome show, this is where you need to come on February the 6th. We'd love to see you there. All right, let's talk about one more show here. Actually, they just made a post about this show a few minutes ago. I was talking to my mom about it, and I was just talking to you guys about the one we did a couple weeks ago. We're going to be back at the Grand Majestic Theater with the Elvis Ultimate Reflections on Saturday, February 13th, 7 p.m. Myself, Matt Cordell, Michael Chambliss, Travis Powell. I hear tickets are selling super fast. When we did this show on Saturday a couple weeks ago, it was sold out. We were full. To the capacity that we could have. So tickets are available online at thegrandmajestic.com. And you can also upgrade your ticket for an extra charge to be included to join us for the Elvis After Hours party. We're going to have food and drinks, I think. It's going to be a lot of fun. Dancing, all that awesome stuff going on. So get your tickets for that as well. We'd love to see you guys there. Last but not least, let me scroll back up to the top. Let's see if I have that photo. Before I put the photo on the screen, I want to tell you guys, for those of you who are watching, my Austin Irby fan retreat, as everybody knows, we were supposed to be doing it last year, and we had to move it to this year. Right now, everything is still a go. We're still planning on having it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Right now, we can't sell any more packages due to the capacity limit in Tennessee, but I think that was changed a couple of days ago. So I'm trying to find out from some city officials there in Pigeon Forge to see what the deal is, but I hadn't heard from anybody, and I hope that's been upgraded from 50 to 75. I think it has. So if that's the case, then pretty soon I'll be able to open back up the packages for you guys. But you can go ahead and join the waiting list. We've had a lot of people join the waiting list for this event, and all you need to do is just go to austinirbyentertainment.com to join the waiting list, and as soon as we get the okay to reopen things, we'll email you and let you know. But it's going to be an awesome time, March 25th to 28th, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. David Lee, Michael Chambliss, Travis Powell, Matt Cordell, Samantha Chambliss, and whoever that other dude is on there. I'm assuming that's me because I have no choice to be there because my name's in the title. So make sure you go to austinentertainment.com, join the waiting list, and come check us out there. I greatly appreciate that very, very much. Last but not least, before we get our guest on here, I have two more things to mention to you guys. I have something really cool that I'm going to start doing probably next month. I would say it would be next month. It is going to be on my other YouTube channel called Austin Irby Entertainment. That is where all my show videos go when I'm performing live and all this awesome stuff we put on there. We're really going to start pumping up, I guess that's the word I want to use, that channel really good. We're going to start something, series called AIE TV. If you don't know what AIE stands for, then of course that stands for Austin Irby Entertainment. That's just abbreviations. It's AIE TV, and you guys are going to travel with me through technology and video camera to all of my shows. You're going to be able to see things that nobody else sees except us and the crew. You're going to go behind the scenes with us. Whether I'm in a car, in a plane, you're going to be with me, and you're going to be going with me, whether you're able to come to the show or not. We're going to show you behind the scenes, some stuff during the show, a lot of cool stuff that, like I said, nobody's going to see but like me and the roadies, is that's the word you want to use, that travel with me and work for me. So make sure you stay tuned for that. We're going to be releasing that information very soon. AIE TV, a series coming to you guys next month. It's going to be really awesome. So stay tuned for that. Last but not least, and then we're going to get my good friend Caden Gamblin on here with us. It's time for birthdays, ladies and gentlemen. We need to give some shout outs here. This week's What's Up with Austin birthdays. I guess y'all saw my post yesterday. She's watching right now. She's my videographer. She's also my stage manager for all of my shows. Miss Cassidy Chapman's birthday was yesterday. She turned 20 years old, so give her a shout out. I know she'd appreciate that. And also my great friend, who is also a performer that works with Austin Irby Entertainment, Miss Callista Minton. We haven't saw her in quite some time because, for those of you who don't know, she is a Nashville recording artist, and she's only like fixing to be 18, I guess, if my math is right. And she's incredible, and she's a great singer. But her birthday is Sunday, So we're going to give a shout out to her. So make sure you give a shout out to her as well. This week's famous birthdays: actor Jim Carrey. His birthday is this week. Singer Dolly Parton, who's an incredible country artist, birthday is this week. And last but not least, songwriter Mac Davis. He wrote several hit songs for Elvis, like Memories, In the Ghetto, Don't Cry Daddy, A Little Less Conversation. His birthday is this week as well. We love you, Mac. And thank you for writing those incredible songs for Elvis and Presley. So happy birthday to all you guys. For those of you, if I didn't mention your birthday, if you didn't send it in to us, then happy birthday to you. But if you'd like your birthday to be announced on the show, all you need to do is message us on Facebook at Austin Irby-Entertainer. Submit the first and last name of the birthday person, date of birth, where they're from, blah, blah, blah. You know the basics of what you need to send in. So if you'd like for your birthday to be announced on What's Up with Austin, that's what you need to do right there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get my first guest. I'm going to throw his picture there up on the screen for y'all to look at for a little while. He is an amazing young man. He is an awesome Elvis tribute artist. We were talking before the show, and we haven't really met in person, if that makes sense. We've saw one another, but not really got to talk in person. So a while ago was really the first time, and I feel like I've known him my entire life. He's a great guy, and I want you guys to meet him right now, the one and only. Put some hearts on the screen for him now, Mr. Caden Gamblin. Let's get him on the screen right now. What's happening, my friend?
It's good to see you, man.
You too. I just saw you like 20 minutes ago?
Yeah, I know. It's also too, it's my birthday today as well.
Are you serious?
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. I was about to say, man, don't pull my string. I was about to say, I didn't see that on Facebook earlier now. So is your birthday soon, or?
It's in May.
Oh, it's in May. Well, we got a little while.
May. It's actually Priscilla's birthday, Priscilla Presley's birthday. Same birthday.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. So, man, before we get started with these questions, tell the folks that's watching right now, what's been up with you, man? What's been going on? How's life been treating you?
All right. Yeah. So, I mean, because of COVID, things are hard, of course, especially since I live in Arizona. It's we've been hit pretty hard here, but I've been there's little things I could find here and there. Not too long ago, I did a show at like a country club, and I've been doing a lot of stuff. Also, back in July and August, July and August, I actually was performing out in Branson, Missouri for about a month or so. So yeah,
awesome. We're gonna chat about that a little later too, man. So here we go, man. Let's kick this off. Everybody's saying, I know for those of you who are watching, the guest on my show cannot physically see the comments, so I'll shout them out to you if somebody says something and put them on the screen. But everybody's saying they love you, they miss you, and hello to you.
Awesome.
So let's kick into this, man. So how long have you been an Elvis tribute artist, and how did you get started?
I've been an Elvis tribute artist, I'd say about 5, coming on 5 years now. When I was about 16, I was I think I was a junior in high school, and I was on the bus riding home. Right. And I heard an Elvis song. I kept on falling in love, of course, which is, probably the best song ever, not just Elvis, but ever.
Right. Absolutely.
Different covers of that song. So I searched it up, I listened to it, and I was like, wow, like Elvis his voice is like angelic. So I searched up a lot of different stuff, and my dad's a big Elvis fan too. So of course I knew who Elvis was, but never really actually looked into Elvis. Right. So I looked at all the younger years, all the way, I love personally, I love every era of Elvis.
That's me.
They all have their the awesomeness that pertains to that era of, and they're all different. And that's what's great about Elvis. So I've been a fan ever since I was younger, but more so when I started performing and such.
Right. Like you said, every era of Elvis, it all has a certain niche. There's just something about it that's always going to stand out.
Exactly.
And for me, the 50s, man, and I'm pretty sure it is for you, I love doing that. But I will admit, man, I'm getting older, and my voice it's still getting really deep. So it's lots harder for me to try to hit those nasal sounding notes. So my right now my comfortable is probably like the 60s, the movie stuff, and the 69, 70. But anytime I get a chance to do the 50s, man, I'm always going to do it. But it was just so raw, and Elvis was just so unique, man. He was just so unique, and he was just, he did what he felt, could care less what anybody thought. Exactly. And that's the way you should be as a performer. That's true. Be you, And then you go into the movies, man, and he's older, he's matured, and he's loving on all the ladies, of course.
Of course, you're Elvis.
Of course, man, why not? But he was a great actor all around, and 68, man, what stands out to me is just the passion that he put into that show. Right. And then another thing is the voice, man, the raspiness of the voice.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hard thing to mimic.
yeah, it's raw, man. It's raw on your voice, and it's raw to listen to.
Yes. And then you go into the 70s, man. That's the way it is, Elvis on tour, and you're like, he's back.
Yeah.
Tip top shape.
Right.
You can't beat this guy. I would have hated to try to actually have to open one of the shows in Vegas for him. I'd be like, yo, man, I'm just gonna go out and say, hey, everybody, my name's such and such. Adios. I ain't even gonna try to. I'm not even gonna compete with you, man. Not even going to. So for you, in your opinion, man, I mean, what's your favorite part of being an Elvis tribute artist? What is about it that's your favorite?
I think, man, that's a good question. My favorite part would definitely have to be, I like the prep period of getting stuff ready, rather it being a contest or a show or anything. But definitely it's the prep and getting your mind set into it. Like, I love feeling nervous. It's weird. I love feeling nervous. Like, it's weird because when I get nervous, I yawn a lot, which is like kind of like, that's not what you should do when you're nervous. But I just love the feeling of it. I love the build up, and then the best part is right when you walk up on stage and it's boom, like you're here to do work. You're here to do your thing.
Your nervousness is just gone.
It's gone. Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Definitely. Somebody has always told me when I first started, because when I first started doing Elvis, I was like, I think I was like 10, 11, and I didn't think nothing about it. I was going to go at this full time or be a career. It's just something. I loved Elvis. I was a fan, and I just like singing the music. And I'd always sing like this, with my head down and my eyes closed. Mm-hmm. And but it's just, somebody told me, they said, man, if you're ever about to go on stage and you're not nervous, then you don't love it anymore.
Yeah, you don't care.
That's what somebody's always told me. And man, I have people that, some people that perform with me that have never, they've been with me and compete against contests, but they never actually did a show with me. I'm backstage, man. I'm pacing back and forth constantly. And
me too.
Some people say, man, you're going to wear a hole in the floor, but I'm pacing back and forth, and they're like, man, you're nervous. I'm like, I'm very nervous. And they're like, but you've been doing this for so long. I was like, it doesn't matter, man.
Nope.
It's a new crowd. You don't know how they're going to react to what you do and what they take. That's practically what Elvis said too, man. Mm-hmm. And you have to think about that. And when you go out, you hear the people screaming, and you're like, okay, I'm in my comfort zone. I'm where I need to be.
Exactly.
So nervous is a good thing, man. Nervous is a good thing.
Means you care.
That's right. Amen to that. Amen to that. So in 2018, you were named the Elvis Rocks Mesquite Grand Champion, right?
Right.
So was that your first contest, or did you have one prior to that?
No, that was my second contest. The first contest I did was the EP Expo in Yuma of 2018 in January. That was my first contest. I was lucky enough to get into finals, and I did 50s, of course. I did some 50s stuff, and then in Mesquite, so they have 3 categories. They have the 50s, they have the 60s, 70s, and then they have your finals, and you can do whatever you want, where your strengths are. So I did the 50s, and 50s is like, I'd say, my stronger suit of Elvis, that era. Right. And I got 4th, and I was like, oh well, I mean, that's okay. It's whatever, It's a new contest. And then I did the 60s category, and I did like Elvis's Back, Pearl Harbor's kind of style of a set. I did I think kind of obscure songs. Not Kiss Me Quick. Kiss Me Quick's kind of obscure, but I did For the Millionth and the Last Time.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I love that song. That's like one of my favorite 60s songs. So I did those 2, and I got first in that category, and I was like, maybe I should just switch.
Yeah.
But anyway, I didn't do 70s. I haven't touched the 70s much yet. I have a jumpsuit, but that's it.
Right.
And then I got into finals, and then I ended up winning, and I was like, what just happened? And
man.
Yeah.
That's another thing is, before I go on with the question here, sometimes when you do the unique stuff in a contest, man, sometimes it can benefit you.
It can
benefit you in 1,000 ways. I remember the first time that I actually stepped out of the 50s and I did the Frank Sinatra show, the Tux, Stuck When You Fame Fortune. I'm thinking, you crazy? What are you doing? You're a 50s guy. You know, you're not going to probably do anything. And then I'd be doggone if I didn't win the thing. So it's like, you know, okay. And I've placed with it and I've won with it. So I'm like, hey, you know, we're going to throw that into the repertoire.
Yeah. And I did the EP Expo again the year after. And that's the contest that's the contest I really wanted to win personally. Right. So when I did it, and I got first in it, and it felt like amazing. There's something about like your first contest you ever do, and then later competing in the same contest and winning that contest. I don't know. It was kind of surreal to me. It was very cool. It was very cool.
So 2018 you went Elvis Rocks Mesquite. In 2019 you won something as well, right?
Yeah, the EP Expo again.
The EP Expo. Okay, the EP Expo again. And so for you, man, you know, let's go back to the first contest and then the two contests you won. From the first time you did a contest to then, I mean, what was your experience? I mean, I'm pretty sure it was different the second time than it was the first time, right?
Yeah, definitely. So the experience I had before the first contest I did was just like doing your typical, you know, starting off retirement homes. You know, the old ladies love you. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, 90 plus, they love it.
That's right.
So I do those, and I got real comfortable, and I, you know, was memorizing all the songs and stuff. So I searched it up. I was like, what's an Elvis festival nearby? And it was EP Expo. And I met my good buddy Jacob Roman, who's like a brother to me now. You've had him on the show before.
I love Jacob, man. He's amazing.
Yeah. Who doesn't? But Jacob and a few other guys, that I create real good friendships with. But yeah, I never really had much experience besides recording it or doing like retirement homes. And then after the EP Expo, I had this confidence to start going out and doing more in other places, parties, stuff like that. Then I did after I won Mesquite, I was like, all right, let's do this. So I started going to different festivals, and doing all these things. And then same with the EP Expo. After EP Expo, so EP Expo, I went to Hollywood. I've been to Collingwood. I haven't been to many, but I've been to a few. I've been to Hollywood, Collingwood. Man, I can't think of the other one. But I've been to New York. I've been all over the place, just doing things,
Absolutely.
So I've been a lot more confident now.
Speaking of Jacob Roman, I'm gonna have to scroll through this. I believe he is watching, but I'm not.
Oh goodness!
Everybody's saying hi, Jacob. So I'm assuming that's the one that. Yeah, he's watching. Yeah, he's watching. Let me see if I. Yeah, he's watching here. Let's see. He put a comment somewhere. I'm gotta try to find this thing. You have 1,000 comments. Let's see what's happening. Okay, here we go. Oh, here it is. My boy, looking good, Caden.
That sounds about right.
Oh man,
it ain't tactics, man. It's just the beast in me.
Right, man. That's right. Hey, that's probably my favorite line from that whole movie, man.
Oh, so good, so good.
So I told you earlier I was doing some research and I was curious about this and I wanted to know more about this, but I saw some photos of you in like a Western wear, like OK Corral type of stuff. I mean, tell us about that. I mean, you do stunts and stuff with that?
Yeah. So back in 2019, way back when in 2019, let me rephrase. Let me go back. But Old Tucson is this place that was a film studio back in the, started from the 30s all the way till, now. You had movies like Tombstone, Gunfight at the OK Corral, three John Wayne movies, three or four, something like that. A lot of John Wayne movies were filmed at Old Tucson. So they opened up as an amusement park, and now they have like your stunt shows. So like where you have these like stunt shows like Knott's Berry Farm, a lot of those places were inspired by Old Tucson because Old Tucson was kind of the first to kind of do all this stuff. So my dad worked there. He taught me all the little stuff. I basically grew up out there. That was like my favorite place to go. And I auditioned and I got it. So now I was a stuntman, and I did like live action shows where we do live action fighting, full contact fighting, falling off buildings, 30-foot buildings, rolling off roofs, getting blown up, all that stuff. So I used to do that for a while, and unfortunately, because of COVID, all that kind of got shut down. So yeah,
that sounds really fun.
Yeah, so I've been in a few films too, so it's because that's kind of cool.
That's cool. Now I saw a video of a guy on a ladder
Yeah.
Was that you?
That was me. That was me.
Dude, I would have probably I won't say what I'd have probably done, but I'd have died probably right
Whatever
there.
you probably did, I probably did it.
I would have probably died first off or had a heart attack. Who knows?
Yeah.
That it's while I was looking at it, I was like, man, that's cool. And then I started thinking, I don't think I'd want to do that.
Yeah, it's fun once you get the hang of it. The thing about that, I have to add, is like, especially people that you see stunts in movies and stuff. Yeah. People that do it so much, because I did daily, and it's dangerous. It's super dangerous. You know what I mean? You have to make sure you're on your A game. So like, we have to remind ourselves that this is dangerous, because we do it so often. We kind of get numb to it. So we have to be like, okay, you're up here about to do the thing. It's like, if I mess this up, I'm gone. There goes my back. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm done. So like, it's a mind game, just like performing in general, just like being an ETA. It's a mind thing. You got to make sure you don't want to think too much, because then you won't do well, but you don't want to think too less, because then, you're not putting all your effort into it. You know what I mean?
That's right. So,
yeah,
it seemed awesome, but then I'm sitting there going, man, I would probably be, I'd be scared. So let's press forward here real quick. So you were performing in Branson this past year with the Rock and Roll Royalty Show. Is that what it's called?
That's right.
And that's put on by Matthew Boyce, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And we've had Matthew on the show before talking about it. So how did that come about? And how did you get involved in that? And are you still going to be performing in that this year?
Yeah. So this was back earlier this year. Things weren't happening. Arizona's closed. So like, I've been kind of struggling, and I've been trying to get as much places that are open, see what's going on. Luckily, Matthew Boyce is a really good friend of mine, and he was like, "Hey man, we have an opening in a show, and I think you'd be great for it. So you'd be doing a 50s Elvis, and you'd be doing another act." So I was like, I'm trying to think of what other act I need to do. So I did Ricky Nelson. So I did the of course the two pretty boys of the 50s and the 60s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had to do those two. And he just asked me if I wanted to do it, and I said sure, man. He once things start opening back up, I think they're gonna have me come back, because the theater director out there the theater director, he's awesome. It's just great people I worked with. Yeah. Right.
That is cool. That is awesome.
It was fun. It was definitely fun.
When I had Matthew on the show, we were actually talking, I got him on here, we were talking about the show, and he was kind of telling me, what it was about. And I was like, man, this sounds like an awesome show. And, I saw where he was doing Elton John.
Yeah.
And I was like, when I was watching that, I was like, dude, you blew my mind.
He's pretty good at it. He's thanks.
I've known him for God knows how long. And I was like, so dude, where have you been hiding this? So when sometime this year they're going to open back up and you're going to be going back.
I'm going to try. Because they have Radney there right now. They have Radney because it's a 3-cast show. They have Radney, Matthew, and another gal, Alexis, that are doing that show. So it's they're all almost doing 4 acts in the show, all 3 of them, which is awesome.
That is cool.
Yeah. So hopefully, I'm gonna try to take a trip out there just to visit, because I have family out in Missouri and near the Branson area. So I think me and my lady are gonna go and take a trip out there, and I'm gonna kick Matthew out of the show for a day so I can be in it.
Like, dude, just step aside. Let me
impress my girlfriend.
There you go. So you've been at ETA for about 5 years or so, you said. So is there a country that you haven't been to that you really want to perform at or in as an ETA? And is there a reason why that country?
I'd say Germany. Germany is really cool. Just because, I took German, so it's like I kind of know German a little bit. So it'd be cool to be able to go somewhere and just, I love the history. Like Italy would be cool too. Like Italy, Germany, all those different European countries. I'd love to do that. That'd be awesome.
Right. I know. Yeah. People ask me that. They ask that all the time, and they're like, "So where's somewhere you like to perform?" I'm like, "I'll go anywhere anybody I have me."
Anyway.
Yeah.
And
it's true, man.
It's hard too. It's hard to get those places. You know what I mean? So
man.
Know the right people.
Man. Gosh. So I like to kind of get off topic and ask some questions that's kind of, not really based on. It's kind of based on being an Elvis tribute artist, but somewhat not.
Mhm.
But if you were not an ETA, what career would you have chosen? Would it be stunt or would it
Right.
be something else? And is there a reason why?
Actually, before I started doing the ETA stuff, I was part of a military program in high school, and I did a lot of military stuff. So I was
Yeah.
actually looking in enlisting into the army and doing a
Oh,
bunch
okay.
of stuff like that, and
Right.
marksmanship, and I was all into that stuff. And then I found Elvis, and I found out I could grow my hair out, and it'd be okay. So I was like, I mean, it's fun, and I love entertainment. I've been doing it since I was a kid, and maybe even
Right.
and I'm kind of doing this now, but even like acting, like I've been doing a few
Oh, yeah.
films where I've been acting, and I found like an appreciation for it because there's stunts and then there's acting, but it's cool when you could do both. Maybe I
Yeah,
could be the next Tom Cruise. You never know.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows, man? That would be pretty cool, though. I like Tom Cruise, man. That'd be
Right.
cool. All right, man. So I got one final question for you,
Sure.
and I just think I love asking this question because not only do I learn something new, everybody else learns something new. But what is something people be surprised to learn about you that they may not know?
Oh, surprised to learn or surprised to know about. That's a hard question.
Save the hardest one for last.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people know about that I'm kind of spontaneous and I do a lot of different things.
Right.
Man, I actually get I'm more shy in person. I think I'm not a hermit, but I'm kind of am in a way. You know what I mean? Like,
I know what you mean.
and that's the thing about the Elvis thing is it helps me get out of that. But
Right. That's true.
naturally, when I'm out and about, like I want to introduce myself. Like even like with you, when I saw you in person, I was nervous to introduce myself to you. Because I'm like, what if I stutter? You know what I mean? Like stupid things like that. But I try my best to try to bring that in and be like, okay, you got to fight through that. But naturally, I'm a kind of a shy guy, to be honest.
Hey, man, you know what? I agree with you about what you said about, the Elvis, getting on stage and performing your tribute. It can get you out of that shyness, man. I mean, it's true because, I told a story a while back on one of the previous episodes we did last year, and where I told you I'd always sing with my head down like this. Mm-hmm. And I had somebody comment and they go, well, you never tell that now. And I'm like, no, you probably would.
It's good.
But it's, I was like you, man, I still got that shyness in me, and,
it's just a personality, I guess,
Yeah. But, Elvis helps you get rid of some of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It always amazes me what Elvis can do for you in your life. So for those of you who are watching, if you're not an Elvis fan, I'm sorry, because you need to be, because man, he makes your life a whole lot better, man.
Yeah, no kidding.
Elvis's music helped me a lot during this COVID stuff. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Definitely. The movies and all.
Amen to that. Well, man, look, tell everybody where they can find you on social media, website, and all that stuff, and all that great stuff. I got your Facebook here, but you might have some other pages you want to tell them about.
So I have, of course, my Facebook on the screen right there. I have a Facebook page you can like. I post videos, photos of stuff, what's going on. I also have a YouTube account. So if you want to go on YouTube, all you do is just search up Caden Gamblin. I think it's Caden Gamblin, Elvis tribute artist or something. You search up Caden Gamblin, you'll see my photo. If you want to subscribe to that, Instagram, I'm very active on Instagram. It's Caden_Gamblin_ETA. I post what's going on with my Elvis stuff, the stunt stuff, the acting stuff. Basically everything that's going on in my life. So yeah, check those pages out, and I hope to see you guys soon.
Awesome. Well, man, look, it's been great having you on the show.
Sure.
And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you right now, he's not going to go anywhere, because at the end of the show, I'm going to bring him back on, and you guys are going to be able to ask both of these guys some questions, maybe some things you want to know about them, or what's going on, or upcoming shows or whatever. And I always tell them, if we get too personal here, we might not answer. So, just to let y'all know. But man, thanks so much for coming on the show, and I'll get you back on in just a few.
Thanks, brother.
All right, man.
See ya.
All right. See ya. Caden Gamblin, ladies and gentlemen, put some hearts and likes on the screen for him. Man, that was awesome. That was a lot of fun. Great. Thank you for coming on the show, man. It was great. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say hello to a few more of these comments here. Hello, Tina. My cousin's watching. Hello. How are you? Thank you, Vicky. I appreciate that very much. Everybody's saying they it was great seeing you, and they miss you. Braxton Sites, what's up, my man? Thanks so much for tuning in. Thank you, guys. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a quick, short commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to do the segment of the show that I like to call the question of the day. We're going to do that as soon as we come back. So don't change that channel. Victor Trevino Jr. is coming up in just a few minutes. So don't change your channel. We'll be right back with What's Up with Austin.
What does it mean to be an ultimate outsider? Find out on a journey from the beaches of the Atlantic to the Blue Ridge Mountains, where you can unearth new outdoor adventures around every turn. And if you've got what it takes, visit all of South Carolina's 47 state parks to become an ultimate outsider. Start your journey at southcarolinaparks.com. Come out and play.
All right, everybody, we're back. I told you guys that was going to be a quick little commercial break. It is right now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time.
The question of the day.
That's right. It's time for the question of the day. And I know normally I have a big old picture that I put up here with the question of the day, but I forgot to make it. So we're going to have to do it this way this week. What is your favorite Elvis album? That is probably a difficult question for a lot of us, but what is your favorite Elvis album? We're going to take one more quick 30-second commercial break. Go ahead and start making your comments right now in the comments section on what your favorite Elvis album is. And we'll be right back to reveal your answers and mine as well. Don't change that channel.
They say we're one of the South's tastiest towns. Thanks, Southern Living. And a top 12 most underrated food city. High five, BuzzFeed. You say Greenville, South Carolina's a culinary hotspot. The restaurants rival any travel magazine headliner. Pack your stretchy pants. But we say,
that's my Greenville.
My Greenville.
Yeah, that Greenville.
All right, everybody, we're back. I see some of the answers coming in. The question of the day, in case you missed it or just tuning in right now, it's what's your favorite Elvis album? Let's go ahead and see what we have. Some of these comments coming in right here. Let's see. Joyce says Potluck. That is an awesome album. Let's see. Barb says Amazing Grace. Mary Holden says the Blue Hawaii album. I love that movie. Yes, it is a great movie. Let's see. Penny says Gospel. Vic made a comment from Elvis in Memphis. That is a good one, man. That is awesome. Christina, let's see. Nope. Sandra says That's the Way It Is. Christina says Jailhouse Rock. Vicky says been rocking out to Blue Hawaii soundtrack here lately, but I'd say Elvis Christmas album is I love Elvis's Christmas songs. They're awesome. Oh, thank you guys so much for making those comments. Please continue to make those comments. I love going back and reading them. So thank you guys for answering the question of the day. Continue commenting your answer. I really appreciate that very, very much. Well, let me reveal my answer to you guys. My favorite Elvis album is Promised Land. That is my favorite Elvis album. I love that album. It's got a lot of great songs on it. It's got Help Me, Mr. Songman, Thinking About You, which right now, for those of you who don't know, that is my favorite Elvis song right now. Thinking About You. Promised Land has a lot of great songs on it. It's a great album. I love that album. And I see some people putting How Great Thou Art, I Believe. So I love that album, Promised Land. It is awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, before I get my next guest on here, Mr. Victor Trevino Jr., I have a short little video clip of something I want to show you really fast. I had a great friend send in a video, and he wanted to let you guys know about something that him and I have coming up here very soon. So I am going to throw his video on the screen right now. And when we come back, Mr. Victor Trevino Jr. is going to come on here, and we're going to have some fun with Vic. So here you go.
Hello, everyone. Jacob Etter here. I just wanted to hop on here and say I hope you all are doing well and staying safe during everything going on in the world today. Another thing I wanted to mention is me and Austin, we have an upcoming show, January 30th at the Abbeville Opera House. It's an annual show we do every year. The past 2 years, it's been a sellout, if not one. This year, tickets are going fast, so y'all be sure to get your tickets as soon as possible. It's gonna be a totally different show than the past couple years. I mean, more costume changes, more just everything. I mean, it's going to be a totally different show, and you guys do not want to miss it. So if you would, please get your tickets now, and we hope to see you there. Until then, God bless. I love you guys.
That was Mr. Jacob Eder. He just wanted to tell you guys about an awesome show that we have coming up next week in Abbeville, South Carolina, that I told you guys about a little bit ago. It's the Elvis, a little late, but Elvis birthday celebration show that we were supposed to be doing around Elvis's birthday, but got postponed and rescheduled to a later date. So I hope you guys will come and join us. It is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have some fun. Well, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get my next guest on here, man. Me and Vic has been friends for I don't know how long, but we've been friends for a long time. He's a great guy. He's an awesome Elvis tribute artist, an awesome entertainer, a great friend. Super excited to have him on the show. He's excited as well. So let's go ahead and get him on the screen right now. The one and only Mr. Victor Trevino Jr. What's happening, man?
Hey, buddy. How you doing? Good to see you.
I'm doing good. Hey, you're relaxing, you know, drinking along, relaxing. Hey, that's nothing wrong with that, man. There's nothing wrong with that. So what's been up, man? What's been going on? I know all this craziness is going on, but what's been going on with you?
Where do we start?
Where to begin?
I'm really excited about a lot of things going on. You know, it really has to stay positive, and you have to think outside the box and be proactive during a time like what we're dealing with in a pandemic for multiple reasons. Obviously, the pandemic for one is awful, and then two, you know, as entertainers, our careers are very, very short as live entertainers. And so we've had to get creative, find new things. I'm really proud of you and congratulations on your show. Thank you for having me on it. And
thanks, man. You're welcome.
Cool that you got sponsors and you got commercials, man.
I know, man.
Thing, man. Make a little thing going on in the background.
Hey, man, I try,
Well,
I try. I mean, what can we do? Yeah.
The business. You're a businessman.
That's right.
And it's like, I had to move the opposite way. There we go.
I'm probably not the best businessman, but hey, you got to do, you got to work with what you got. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, if you're self-employed and successful, you're a good businessman.
Yeah, true. That's true. Got a point. So, man, let's kick into this and let's chat for a little while. So, man, how did you get into Elvis and what made you want to become an Elvis tribute artist?
Well, I've always thought Elvis was a really cool dude. And the first time I ever sang an Elvis song was probably my fourth grade. I'm going to turn you off. I have you on my phone and I can hear it.
Oh, you
fourth grade talent show. And I wanted to sing a song at the talent show. So my parents were like, oh, do an Elvis song. Everyone likes Elvis, and I did Teddy Bear. So I went out there and I wore navy blue. I had suits because I went to church. So I just wore one of my suits with a pink shirt and put my hair back and, went on stage and sang Teddy Bear and, kind of shook my little butt a little bit. All the little kids were making fun of me because they said I did the BC in front of girls. And I was like, what's the BC? I was like, what's the BC? And they're like, you did booty circles. And I was, moving around. So that's what Elvis did. And the little kids, they made fun of me for it. But I'm used to that. So I was like, well, what else?
That's right, man.
But I mean, that didn't inspire me to be an Elvis tribute. I always loved being on the stage. So when I was in high school, I was always in the High School Musical. And then in my senior year of school in high school, I got in trouble because I was in band and I was going to be in the musical. And we were the first I've probably had too much of this already. Okay, we were the first high school to do Les Mis or Les Miserables. And it was my senior year. And I was thinking, man, this is going to be awesome. I'm going to get a lead role. This is going to be my ticket to go to college and have my college paid for because they were inviting all of these college scouts to the show. Right. And the day that they announced the roles, because we had auditions all week, the day that they announced the roles, they had to change it because I got in trouble and banned. It was also the same day as our first football game, and I was in the marching band, and I was playing bass clarinet, which looks like this big old black saxophone. It's the nerdiest instrument that you'll see. It's really cool. And I took care. I was a section leader because I was a senior. All the other kids were freshmen, and I took care of them. you know, always brought in like candy to all the games and always make sure we always had fun because I was their leader or whatever. And I got in trouble because I didn't like my new band director. And I was a smart mouth kid. And we got into it and, you know, we stood at attention. I wouldn't stand at attention. He says, you can either stand at attention or you can get out of here. And I was like, it was like a little high school cheesy movie moment because I said, I'm out of here. And then I took off and half the band followed me out. Wow. And so I got in trouble. So they said, well, you're a bad influence. So you can't get a lead role in the musical, Les Mis.
Jeez, man. That's a story and a half.
I'm very thankful. I'm actually still I'm still friends with my theater teachers. And she actually went to go see me in Vegas once. And I'm very thankful that happened because it brought my life into a completely different direction. Because of that, she said, well, you don't get a lead role, but you can be in the chorus if you want. Yeah. And, you know, my ego was like, well, I'm a senior. I'm not going to be in the chorus, you know? So I auditioned for public theater. I auditioned for Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat at the Florida Community Arts Center at the Scott Theater, which is ran by a company called Kids Who Care, which is a very reputable company. They do amazing programs throughout the year. They bring in kids from all over the world to perform. Wow. And it's really, really a great, wholesome place. And that place changed my life. So Deborah Jung, she cast me as the role of Joseph. Right. And, you know, and I remember this is around the same time Donny Osmond's version of Joseph Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat came out. So when I got that role, I thought, man, this is so cool. Like I don't have to do the High School Musical. I'm getting to do this. And then the Star Telegram on the arts page, they had a full picture of me, you know, on the opening day and stuff like that. So that took my career in another direction.
That's cool.
So even though I was doing musicals around town, around Fort Worth and Dallas, and public theater at the theater, especially with the Latin art community, I still was broke. I was broke as a joke. I tried going to college. I tried doing all those other things, and I was just broke. And so I was waiting tables at Sawgrass Steakhouse, and I met a lady named Kathy Rogers, and she owns Hetzer Theatrical. So Hetzer Theatrical, when her father ran it, they booked all the circus acts on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Wow.
Yeah. So anytime you saw dancing bears or horses or any sort of animal or anything related to circus, it was her father's company.
That's cool.
So she was a huge Elvis fan, and she had a house here in DFW area, and it was like a replica of Graceland. And she was a huge Elvis fan, and she would work with Johnny Harris, she worked with Johnny Lovett. She worked with a lot of the early ETAs.
Right.
And so she said, I was waiting her table, and she said, what do you do? And I said, I'm a singer. And she said, where do you sing? Do you have a band? I said, no, I just do musicals. She said, have you ever thought about doing Elvis? Like, what do you think about it? I said, I like Elvis. You know, I mean, I really love rockabilly. You know, I used to go to like Reverend Horton Heat shows, and I saw the Cramps, which is one of my biggest influences for music. You know, and Lutz Interior of the Cramps, he was a huge Elvis fan. Right. And, we actually opened for Reverend Horton Heat recently at the Gas Monkey with my honky tonk band. And so, you know, I was really into that. So I was like, well, you know, Elvis was a huge contributor to rockabilly music. Maybe I'll give this a shot. Yeah. And so she started booking me at some shows, and it's slow, you know, we do like bar mitzvahs or weddings, and it just kind of slowly became a thing. And I wanted it to become a career because I hated college. I'm a terrible employee. Yeah. And I just wanted to figure out how I can do this. So I made a MySpace page, and I became friends with like Trent Carlini and a lot of these other people. And I would talk to them. And some of these people I never met. I never had the chance to meet them, but we would correspond on MySpace.
Wow.
And then there was the ultimate. So this was in 2008. And I said, you know, I'm going to go to Tupelo and I'm going to win that ultimate competition. And I did. I mean, I didn't win the finals, but I won the prelim at Tupelo, and that really started shaping my career. Absolutely. And it was a lot of fun. And so, yeah, so here I am now. You know, I mean, I'm not really working as an Elvis tribute. I'm doing my country stuff with a honky tonk, and I'm loving it. You know, it's another chapter in another chapter. Maybe it might be another book. I don't know. I mean, who knows? I've kind of written off 2021 already to be a major Elvis year for me. So I'm already pushing for other things. We're already booking other things because I'm having gigs from 2020 being pushed to 2022. Yeah. So like I said, you know, you just got to be proactive. And if something's not happening now, you got to figure out what's happening, what you're going to make happen, and go full throttle, because you don't know where that's going to lead.
No, no, that is true, man. That is so true. So we talked about this the other day. So you were a performer with the Elvis Lives tour. For those you don't know, that was a big tour that was, gosh, worldwide for quite some time. So kind of tell us about that and how that come about and all that cool stuff.
Yeah, I think it first started, it was in 2008 or 2009.
Right.
And it first started off as a 3 to 6 week run in St. Louis at the Lumiere. Legends called me and said, "Hey, we want you to be a part of this." It was me, Bill Cherry, and Dwight Eisenhower. Hey, Dwight, I saw that Vicky and Dwight are listening.
Yep, they're watching.
And so it was we were on that, and it was this whole new show, this whole new concept, and they had Graceland was a sponsor in it, and it was really cool. It was very small. It was in a smaller room at the Lumiere. We did it about 4 nights a week for I think 3 to 6 weeks, and Dwight could only be there for half of it. So then Kevin Mills came,
right,
and it was a good time. So we did that, and then about the next year, or maybe it was 2 years later, my timeline's all over the place. Then we took it on the road, and we lived on a bus for that was for sure about 6 or 7 weeks. And it was always in the dead of winter because it was in January during Elvis's birthday month.
Right.
And that was very much a very learning experience for myself because I never toured like that before. You know, I was still very new as an ETA, so I was very grateful and very excited to have an opportunity like this. You know, I hadn't won the Ultimate Elvis yet, and I still haven't. You know, will I compete again? I don't know. I mean, I would love to, but it's not a title that I feel that I have to have. Yeah. And I'm okay with that. Yeah. I really love the experiences that Elvis has brought me already, and very thankful for that. But doing the tour was really, really cool, and it was a lot of fun. And then we did it another time, and then they offered me the third tour, and I said no because I was working for Legends in Hawaii.
Right.
They said, "Do you want to stay in Hawaii, or do you want to go live on a bus in the dead of winter?" And I said, "I want to stay in Hawaii." Yeah. And that was in the tour for 2013.
Right.
But then I end up having to go to Vegas anyways because there was an emergency going on and they needed someone to replace somebody. So I went over there and I moved to Vegas in 2013. And that really was a pretty crazy year too. And that's when I really started just traveling, working a lot less with Legends, but traveling more all over the world to perform as Elvis.
Right. That's cool, man. I bet you living on a bus for that amount of time is really different. I bet you it's different, I bet.
Well, there's rules on the bus. The first rule on the bus is you don't number 2 on the bus. That is the first rule. And so if you do, you're going to know about it. Everyone's going to know. So if you got to go, you just tell the bus driver, "Hey, I got to go." And then they're like, "All right, we're going to have a pit stop." And you go and you do your thing. So, I mean, there was many a times when I'm like setting my alarm for like 8 a.m. for when that theater opens and I'm running into the
Oh man, that's crazy.
It was a different life because you shower at the theater. Yeah. You know what I mean? And some of these theaters were really old and small, so they didn't have showers. So they would rent out a hotel. And people would have a certain time, like, okay, this is your 30 minutes to kind of do what you got to do, groom, you know, get yourself good for your day. So, I mean, they were very accommodating in those ways. I mean, I was very thankful. I would never say that they never took care of us. Legends Concert took very good care of us while we were on the road.
That's cool, man. That's good. That is good. So you have actually recorded in Sun Studios. Now, for those of you who don't know, Sun Studios is a legendary studio in Memphis. I mean, that's where Elvis was and many, many more. So how did that come about? And man, what was that feeling like being able to record in a studio like that?
It was, I wish I could do it again.
Yeah.
I have like 13 tracks that I never released.
Wow.
I always used to just sit on things. I mean,
right.
A lot of cool opportunities. Even speaking of Sun Studios, I mean, Cowboy Jack Clement was interested in producing me at one time, about 10 years ago. And I just sat on it and it passed. And, you know, Cowboy Jack is the reason why we have the $1 Million Quartet album, because he was the engineer at the time. So I just wanted to go record. I didn't know what to expect. You know, I had the former band of the Dempseys playing with me, and we just did a lot. I did 2 originals, and I did a lot of covers, and we did covers based all on Sun artists. So we did like Johnny Cash, Hey Porter. We did a couple of Elvis Sun songs. We did some Howlin' Wolf, and we did some songs that weren't Elvis, that were before Elvis, you know, very much with African American artists, you know, that raw Memphis blues sound, because you had your Chicago blues and you had your Memphis blues, and 2 completely different things. Just like, you know, the music coming out of Memphis, coming out of Nashville were 2 completely different things. You hear an interview with Charlie Feathers, and he's saying, if you played in Memphis, you didn't play in Nashville. If you played in Nashville, you didn't play in Memphis. You know, a cool story about, and you know, and Charlie Feathers was another Sun Studio artist. Elvis was a huge Charlie Feathers fan. And he tells a story about when Elvis went to a Charlie Feathers show. It was like at a little show, like at a bar or something like that. And after the show, he went off the stage and Elvis stood up and he had a record. And he wanted Charlie to sign his record. And he said, he just wanted to sign, he wanted me to sign his record.
That is cool, man. That is awesome.
Really cool. But it was really neat, because when I got to record there were no longer straight doing digital recording. A while back, what happened at Sun was that they got rid of all of the analog recording equipment, and they were doing straight digital. So when Matt Ross Spang started working there, he was an intern. And then when the other engineer had to go, Matt took over. And Matt is now a very, very successful Grammy award-winning producer and engineer. He's worked with people like Margot Price, Chris Stapleton. If you look him up, he is the reason why Sun Studio is what it is today. Because what he did, he was so passionate about it, he brought back some of that original recording equipment into Sun Studio. So you can still go and record analog now. For the longest time, you could only record digital, but because he was so passionate about it, he brought all that back to Sun Studio, which is, I mean, hand it to the guy. That's great. And he was in his early 20s, and he was just really experimenting with this stuff. He began sourcing analog equipment for people like Jay-Z, and Macklemore and all these other artists. So recording with him was really cool, even though he hadn't received these awards yet. I knew this was a guy in the making. And now he pretty much runs Sam Phillips' studio in Memphis. Wow. And so I mean, he's no longer at Sun, but recording with him was, I mean, I knew I was recording with somebody that was going to be somebody. And he's a really cool guy. I mean, he's a really nice guy. I suggest people look him up. There's a lot of podcasts and interviews with him, and he knows his stuff, because now when they do re-record and remaster Elvis music, he's the ears behind it. Wow. Yeah, he's the ears behind it. In fact, I think he was also involved when Jack Black re-released My Happiness. I think his ears were involved in that too. So I mean, and all the new Jungle Room stuff, he mixed all that. All the new releases, like anytime there's new releases, he's the guy it's his ears. So when you listen to that, and everyone, if you're listening to the new Elvis stuff, he's involved in that. So that's cool. Yeah, he knows the stuff. So working with him when he was before that was really awesome.
Yeah, I bet that's amazing. That is awesome. Everybody's commenting saying they're loving the stories, and they love the look on you, the attire. That's what they're all saying. They love it.
Well, thank you. I can't see your comments.
Right. So you were talking earlier about musicals. Do you have a musical in particular that you kind of could say was your favorite out of one that you've done, and is there a reason why it would be that one in particular?
My most favorite musical I've ever done was Joseph May's Technicolor Dreamcoat. Right. For a couple of different reasons. For one, it's a great role. It's a beautiful role, and it's a challenging role. And in 2003, I played Joseph at the Scott Theater. Right. And then what was it, like 2008 or 2017, for the same company, I played the Pharaoh. And the Pharaoh is Elvis in that musical. I don't know if you've ever seen that musical, but it's Andrew Lloyd Webber musical. It's from the 70s. It's like a second or third musical. And there's so many different types of styles of music. I mean, you have French, you have country, you have blues, you
Wow.
have typical, Andrew Lloyd Webber in the 70s musical music, and then you have rock and roll, you have Elvis. So anytime the Pharaoh talks, he moves like Elvis. It's kind of a caricature, but it's cool because he has the big old hair stuff.
Yeah.
When they take off his helmet, his big old Sphinx helmet, he's got like this huge hair, and he's got his eyeliner, and he's the king. So
Yeah.
he's acting like the king.
That is cool.
That's really fun. And another reason is because when I wanted to do that, I've done a musical like 3 different times. One time I didn't play Issachar. Who was I? I did the Calypso song. Who was that role? I don't remember the name. But first time I was that. And then the second time was, because that was like in my sophomore year. That was just in high school. And then out of high school. And then I did it again a couple of years ago.
Right.
It was great. It was really cool because some of the kids, there's a kids choir. Some of the kids that were like, yay big, were like taller than me on the second time. They were like 18 or 17 because it was like 10.
Time flies, man, this day and time.
But another thing was that when Legends has moved around a bit on the Las Vegas Strip within the past 10, 15 years. First performed there was at the Harrah's.
Right.
Then it was at the Flamingo. So when we were at the Flamingo, we weren't, it's the truth. We weren't the number 1 show. We were sharing the stage with Donnie and Marie Osmond. And now they're at the Tropicana and they're the number 1 show again. So we had kind of a weird time spot. We would do 4 p.m. and then Donnie Marie did like the 7 o'clock spot. And then we do 9 p.m. again. So it was a pretty grueling schedule.
Wow.
And just that time in between, trying to be cost efficient with gas and like, what are you going to do? And so Donnie Osmond was a really, really cool, nice guy.
Yeah.
He was the kind of guy, he remembered your name. He remembered the staff's name, the tech's name. And sometimes he would just come and sit with us in the dressing room and hang out.
That's cool.
He was super cool. And I never really got to know his sister. His sister like flew in every morning because she had her show in LA, and then she flew into Vegas, do the show, and just fly home.
Right. And
when Donnie, he would just kind of just hang out. I guess he had a room there, or probably has a condo somewhere in Vegas. I don't know. I didn't get to know him that well.
Right.
But because he was in Joseph Mason Technicolor Dreamcoat, when I first got to get to know that musical, I thought he was a little inspiring to me. Mm-hmm. And I always gave him space. Like I never really approached him. He would just kind of just come hang out with us sometimes in the dressing room. But there was a moment when I was kind of really, really depressed, wasn't making a lot of good decisions in my life. And I was really sad and was in the hallway sitting on a couch. And right next to the couch was a stairway to go down to get to the to the stage. Right. So just kind of sitting there. And then Donnie walks by me. He says, "Hey, Vic, how you doing?" And I'm sitting there and I'm like, "I'm fine." He says, "Are you sure?" And I'm thinking, damn it, Donnie Osmond, will you leave me alone? Like, I'm just like, man, I'm just like, I'm a pitiful mess.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, I'm fine. And he says, "Stand up." So I stood up and he gave me a hug. Yeah. And he gave me this big, tight hug. And I almost put like a tear in my eye because he hugged me like my father.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen my parents probably in like 6 months, maybe 8. It had been a long time since I've seen my folks. And so he gave me this hug and he says, "That's better."
Yeah.
That's better. And then he grabbed my butt. No, I'm joking. He didn't. But it was just really, he was just a really nice, kind, gentle person and genuine.
Yeah.
And, he didn't care who you were or anything like that. He was genuine. And he watched our show. And we were a bunch of nobodies. He's Donnie Osmond, my mom had a little crush on him when she was a little girl. And so did your mom, I'm sure,
probably.
And, one of the greatest voices out there.
It's true.
He was very humble. He was a very humble person. So that's another reason why really doing Joseph Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat is very dear to me, because to me, he was the best Joseph ever.
Right. That is awesome, man. That is cool. So speaking of Legends in Concert, as you have stated, you are a performer with Legends in Concert. So I think you might have touched on this a little bit, but you might want to, if you want to go more into detail, but how did that come about, getting with Legends in Concert, and are you going to be performing at a location anytime soon? If so, where, or how's that working out right now?
I really, really die hard wanted to work with Legends. I just wanted to work with Paycheck performing as Elvis.
Right.
I loved Elvis music. I thought this was a really cool thing. I loved, because when I started performing as Elvis is when I really, really got to know more about Elvis and how cool he was, influential he was. And that's a whole nother conversation. But I competed in a contest. I was wanting to do the ultimate, and I also wanted to work at Legend. So I said, how can I kill? I was broke, so I was like, how can I kill two birds with the same stone? I know, I'm going to go compete in Branson. So I competed in Branson, and I won. And that was a tough competition. There was a lot of good. There was a lot of talent. Actually, all of them. I mean, I didn't expect to win Tupelo.
Right.
Because I was like, I don't even know who half these guys were, but man, it's like watching Elvis up here. I was ranking new. And so when I went to Branson, I won, and they said, hey, can you do some dates? So I said, sure. Oh, that's my eBay going off. And so, they said, yeah, do you want to do this? So I said, hell yeah, I'll do that. And that kind of got my foot in the door. So they started asking me to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Right.
And that's when they asked me to do the Elvis Lives run over in St. Louis at the Lumiere.
Right.
And eventually after that, they asked me to do the tours. And then it was 2011 is when I got my first kind of short residency, when I started working for them all year long. I went to Myrtle Beach, worked there for a couple of months, and then went to Vegas for like a couple of months and back to Myrtle Beach. And then I told them, I said, hey, I'm going to move to Vegas. This is 2011. They said, if you have anything open. So me and Matt Lewis, who is a super cool guy, super great talent. I love that guy. We started splitting the weeks because he didn't want to go full time. He wanted to work like half the week. So I said, well, I'll work half the week, but I'll do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays. That way I can have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sundays off. So I can go a little bit, some good guaranteed money toward the first part of the week, and then go make some more good guaranteed money on other gigs. So it was really cool because I was performing in Vegas 3 nights a week, and then I was going to wherever the phone rang, Yeah. And that's what I was doing when I don't know if you're going to go there, but I don't want to jump the gun on your questions. I was kind of doing that same thing when I went to go do gigs, when I got to open for people like Boyz II Men or open for Foreigner, So it was awesome because, here it was living in Vegas, performing 3 nights a week in Vegas, having these crazy ass wild times, and then I go somewhere else and have a crazy ass wild time. So, I mean, I made good money and I was stupid with it, but
yeah. Speaking of Boyz II Men, since you mentioned that, how did that come about? I mean, you opened for Boyz II Men. Where was it at? And then I want to know this story. I'm interested.
It was in Camden, Maine. And I cannot remember the name, but there is a winery in Camden, Maine, and they put together this huge fundraiser every year. Right. And I mean, it's kind of fundraiser where it's like minimum $1,000 a plate, $2,000 or $3,000 a plate, where they have, entertainment, food, drinks, all kinds of stuff.
Right.
And they just hit me up. Oh, it was my friend. I'm friends. This show unfortunately closed, but I don't know if you're familiar. There's a show in Vegas called Zumanity.
Okay.
Great Cirque du Soleil show. I mean, it's all about sex and fetishes and stuff, but it's a great show. It's a very classy show. It's very tasteful.
Right.
But a lot of these shows are going under right now. And so my friend Christopher, he was the host of the show, and he had this character named Edie, kind of like Edie, as we all know who Edie is from the 60s. Right. And he was like 7 foot something in heels and hair. And but it's funny because when he's not in his costume, he's just a regular old bro, in his flip-flops and Abercrombie jeans and t-shirts, really, really cool, nice guy. His husband's a really nice guy. He's a great writer. And because I was friends with them, they were friends with the people that owned this winery and the people that owned the host hotel. So they said, hey, we're looking for an Elvis. And so they recommended me, and I took the gig. I went over to Camden. I got there super, super late. It was like 1 or 2 a.m. when I got to the hotel. And they said, all right, here's your room. You're not on the same floor as Boyz II Men, just to let you know. And I said, I never heard of a Boyz II Men tribute band. Right. Said, no, dude, it's Boyz II Men. And I'm like, what?
Oh, so you thought it was a tribute band?
Cool. Huh?
You thought it was a tribute band, not the real
thing. I didn't think I was going to be sharing a bill with Boyz II Men. I mean,
I bet you were shocked about that.
When I was like in elementary school with my aunts, especially when they had to live with my family for a little while. I mean, we used to listen to like Motown Philly and all that stuff.
Yeah, man.
I love that stuff.
Yeah, me too. I
was like, man, this is like taking me back to my childhood.
Yeah, that is too cool, man.
And then I went down to breakfast. They called me and they said, hello, sir. just let you know, breakfast is ready downstairs. So I went down and I had breakfast with Boyz II Men. And they were super nice. They were super cool. And they arranged like a canoe thing for them to go on the lake.
Wow.
Like, hey, Vic, or no, they called me Elvis. Like, hey, Elvis, are you going to go on the canoe with us? And I said, no, I got to go to sound check. I mean, I had to do sound check. They didn't have to do sound check. Their band did sound check for them. They just showed up. They got to go canoeing in Maine and middle of summertime, man. It must have been
cool. That's nice. That's
cool.
Nice.
I
know, right?
And then the next year, I did the same event. It was 3 times as big, and they had Foreigner.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, and that was really cool. That was a fun show. I brought the EIS band with me that time, and that's the first time I did a show like in a jumpsuit. I bought a jumpsuit for the gig, and I brought the EIS band, and the actress Precious, the African American actress. She's in a movie called Precious. I can't remember her actual name, but her mother was a performer there, and then we performed, and then everyone moved to this other tent because the other tent was there was 2 tents. There was a smaller tent where we performed, and there was the big tent, and that tent was just for Foreigner. And it was they did a full-on 90-minute show, and then we got to party with them at the hotel afterwards. We're having dinner, telling stories, getting drunk. It was a great it was a great time. I mean, my car to go back to the airport left at 7 a.m., but I didn't care. I was hanging out with Foreigner.
Yeah, hey, man, that's true, man. That's too cool.
Feel this. Just give me a second.
Okay. That is too cool. I hope you guys are enjoying these stories, man. I'm enjoying this. Everybody's loving it. Everybody's enjoying the stories that Vic is giving, man. I don't know if you can hear me, Vic, but they're all saying they want to drink too. So you might as well
bring out your drink. Let's all drink together. It's like
they all want you to give them a drink.
We're going back to March and April. We're quarantining, and everyone's calling each other with a drink. You can't
man,
festival after the shows.
True. So you, from what I researched, you have had an opportunity to perform at several historic stages where Elvis actually performed. Is that right?
Yeah.
Tell us about those. I'm interested about that now.
Well, of course, there's the Louisiana Hayride, the municipal. What city was that? Shreveport, and that was an amazing show. That was really cool. I didn't realize how tall the stage was, and that was with the Elvis Lives tour. And most of these venues were all with the Elvis Lives tour. That was really cool with some of the routing that Barbara Cooley did. Barbara Cooley did all the routing, and she would. For the first part of the tour, and then they had another person do it when Barbara Cooley started doing something else. So he was really big on putting us on places where Elvis performed at. And I don't remember all of them, but I do remember that one particular because it was Louisiana Hayride. And not only Elvis performed there, but I mean, you also had like Hank Williams, Johnny Horton, Charlie Pride, Willie Nelson. Was Willie Nelson there? Don't get me a line. I'm not sure if Willie Nelson was there, but I mean, you do have a lot of these great influential people performing at the Louisiana Hayride. So be able to say, "Hey, I was at Louisiana Hayride," that's an honor. And when it comes to the other place, it was somewhere in Daytona. I don't remember the exact venue, but it was in Daytona.
Right.
Maybe someone in the comments might know. I don't know. Dwight probably knows, but I don't.
Dwight probably knows.
But I mean, yeah. So that was really cool. you know, and then also, you know, as some of us have gotten a chance to perform with people that Elvis performed with,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like Joe Gershio, and then also performing with I performed with Jack Clement, even though he didn't perform with Elvis. Jack Clement recorded Elvis, and then of course performing with DJ Fontana, Elvis' original drummer from the Louisiana era.
That is cool, man. That is awesome. So I got a couple more questions for you, but before I ask the last one, I saw Vicky make a comment of a question, and I want to ask this one because I thought it was really cool. But Vicky asked, "What is your who is your biggest style, like your style inspiration? Who's the person that inspires you for your style of clothing?" I thought that was a cool question. I was like, I'm gonna ask that.
So many different things and so many different facets of my life. I want to say there's just one person. One thing that was cool so two of my favorite brands is Double RL and Levi's Vintage Clothing. In fact, I've always kept this as a secret, but if you want the same denim jacket that Elvis wore in Loving You, go to Levi's.com. It's free on there. And go to the collections and look up Levi's Vintage Clothing. And I've been buying their stuff since I lived in Hawaii, and I was there because of Legends. So in Hawaii, that's where I discovered Double RL, which is a Ralph Lauren line. It's like a Western vintage workwear inspired line. It's pretty overpriced. I only buy it. I have a friend that gets me a deal. And so when it goes on clearance, but because it's ridiculously priced, I discovered that, and it's called Double RL because Ralph Lauren owns a ranch in Colorado, and that's the brand. It's RL for Ralph and Ricky, you know, his wife. And Levi's Vintage Clothing, it's Levi's, but what they take is old clothes and they recreate it. So like my favorite jeans are like the 1947s, 1944s, 1954s, and the 1955s. And so that's what I usually like to wear. They're higher waisted. You know, I dress like an old man. I don't care. And so I don't care. And so that's what I like. But Elvis in the movie Loving You was wearing a Type 2 Levi's jacket. And the Type 1 has one pocket here. The Type 2 had two pockets here. The Type 1 had a buckle in the back. The Type 2 had two tabs.
Right.
So I've always never really told people, but you know what? I'm really big. If people want to do the authentic Loving You, go on Levi's.com because you can find it. For the longest time, you couldn't find it on Levi's.com. It was you can only find it at specialty stores. And now, and they were made in Turkey, which is fine because they're not made by children. You know, but now I believe the jackets are made in the U.S. If they're still made in Turkey, that's fine. I mean, they're still made by adults and made good craft. But yeah, if you want that exact jacket that Elvis wore, go up a size. Like if you're a large, because it's going to shrink a whole size because it's authentically made like the shrink to fit.
Right.
So I have one.
I have one.
And then you don't want to wear the hell out of it and then sleep in it and get it nice and faded, which is going to take some time because it's just in like that raw denim state.
Yeah.
So usually a large, get an extra large and then soak it because that's what you're going to have to do. But I don't know. As far as style goes, my style has kind of changed, but went back. When I was a little kid, I was obsessed with dressing like a cowboy all the time. I mean, I remember I skinned my knee. Every year I went to school called Elkins Elementary, or it was an elk was our mascot.
Right.
We would have the elk run every year. And every year I thought I was going to win. Man, I came in. I never won. I was not terrible. I never won. But every year I was like, I want to win. And one year I had the dumbass idea to go and run, show up in my cowboy boots. And I thought I was going to win this thing. And I went like probably 100 or 200 meters. And I freaking fell and skinned my knee right on the pavement. And then I went over there. I cried. And they took me to the nurse. And they patched me up and said, okay, you're good to go. I said, all right, I'm going to go win that race. I'm like, oh, honey, the race is over.
Race is over.
Like, what? I was heartbroken, you know.
Oh, my God.
I religiously wore a cowboy hat. The only reason I couldn't wear a cowboy hat at school because they wouldn't allow hats.
Yeah.
And then I was obsessed with cowboy hats and fedoras because my father would go work. My father would, for our religion, he would go work up in New York for about 2 or 3 weeks every year and help build and stuff with some of the construction, some of the buildings over there. And one year he came back with a fedora hat and a ivy cap. And so, parents kind of started that weird addiction. And I used to have too many hats. I've actually given a ton to my father that I don't wear. So.
Right. Man.
But I mean, as far as just, I don't know, I've just been influenced by so many different things. So, I mean, I'm sorry, Vicky, I don't have like an exact person. I mean, I do really love the way Johnny Depp dresses, but then I also love like a lot of the old styles when it comes to like Gene Autry and when it comes to Roy Rogers, but also Elvis had a great style too. Brian Setzer had a great style. But I really love to look at old books and old photographs and seeing how people dressed and see how I can collaborate that into my own personal style. So, like this is vintage. This is probably from the 80s here. I found this from an Alcoma Native American. If you're ever driving on 40 on Route 66 and you see the big signs for City in the Sky, I recommend you go see it. It's a really cool Pueblo reservation. It's on top of these huge rock formations. So you have to, they drive you up there. And then when you leave, you have the option of climbing down yourself or driving down a little bus. And I walked down myself, almost killed myself, but it was worth it. This was when I was moving from LA to Chicago. I took Route 66 the whole way. And I bought this from a native there who made these. He was just hanging out there with a suitcase. And I'm trying to go the right way. He had a suitcase, and in the suitcase he had every color. It was like a rainbow, but not just a rainbow. It would be like light blue, and then medium blue, then dark blue, then marine blue, and then navy blue, and then purple, and then it just perfectly went. It was just beautiful. And this is the color that I picked. But he made these himself.
That's cool. That is cool, man.
Yeah. And then I don't know. I like different stuff, and I try to purchase American when I can. It's really expensive. So, but I just, so sorry, Vicky, I don't have like exact people.
That is cool. That is awesome. So I got a final question there for you. And I told you we were going to touch base on this, but for those of you who don't know, outside of Vic being an Elvis tribute artist, as you all know, he does his own thing. He entertains himself with country, rockabilly and stuff like that, has his own band. Tell everybody about that and where they can see you at with your band and how all that came about and stuff too.
I really came about in different ways, in different facets.
Right.
For example, I remember when I came back to do a show in Tupelo in 2013, because I was living in Vegas. Say, hey, Vic, do you want to come do a show here? And I had the year before, I did a show with DJ Fontana, and we did like a full-on 50s rockabilly thing. And DJ Fontana played drums, and we did stuff like I Don't Care If the Sun Don't Shine and Heartbreaker. Yeah. We did a lot of the really early stuff. And I brought in an upright bass player from Texas, as well as a guitarist, TJ Mays, and he does a lot of gigs with me. And he played on a White Falcon, and we were all dressed the part. These are guys that dress like in 50s clothes, pompadours, because I wanted to give that vibe.
Right.
So I did that. And then the next year they said, hey, we want you back. And I want to do something different. So that's when I started doing Elvis songs in my own style.
Right. Absolutely.
And I remember in 2013, I started going in that direction. And then I was in 2014 in Tupelo, I did it again, and that's when my shirt came off. I
remember that.
Yeah, I remember that. I think you were there. And so, and we had like whales, and I was getting really experimental with it because Elvis was experimental himself.
Right, absolutely.
Elvis was very experimental in his music, and so I felt, if I'm going to I'm just going to let loose and go wild. Because even though that wasn't how people necessarily went wild in the 50s and the 60s, they did when you had, artists like David Bowie and Iggy Pop. Right. You had some rock and roll, and that stuff started getting wild. And Elvis was definitely an influencer and kind of a predecessor towards that. I don't care what you say, because when it comes to rock and roll music, Yes, Elvis was a good guy, dude, and he did love gospel music, and that is predecessor towards rock and roll. But we got to call a spade a spade. If Elvis was a saint, he would not have been doing rock and roll music. Rock and roll music, I don't care what you say, and this might piss some people off. It wasn't just when people think of, oh, the 1950s, goody two shoes, and this. No, that's not what rock and roll music was. It was dangerous, all shook up. I mean, listen to those lyrics. Really listen to some of these lyrics in these 1950s songs.
Yeah.
I mean, when they're talking about animals or food, they're talking about sex. That's just the truth. And a lot of those songs that Elvis was doing, they were sexual. They sound completely innocent now. But
compared to today's music.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it was more suggestive, and that's cool. That's what's sexy. I mean, Elvis was a sexy dude. He didn't sell all the tickets because they just liked his voice. He had a great voice, but he had something else. He had something else. And people say, well, everyone screamed more for the Beatles. Yeah, no shit. Because they weren't screaming like crazy by the 60s. They were doing something wrong. In the 1950s, the girls screaming and going crazy like that, it wasn't okay. They were like, why is he making them scream? Some people didn't like that, but people that wanted money realized, no, this is what we want. This is going to
That's right.
And so when it came to the Beatles, if they weren't screaming, the Beatles weren't worth anything. So yeah, I mean, when you listen to some of those old Beatles recordings, the girls are screaming so crazy you can't even hear the Beatles because they were doing something right.
Right.
And, of course, it gets into different types of people just expressing themselves in different ways. Right. So for me, that's kind of when I would go wild like that. I was kind of like the type of music, because I love punk rock. I love all kinds of other types of music other than Elvis and country, even though that's what I mostly do.
Right.
I was able to let that loose. And it wasn't for everybody. Some people love it and some people don't. But I am proud to say that I do notice a lot of other ETAs going in that same direction. So, I mean, I know it might sound a little egotistical, but I feel like I did something right. And everyone remembered it and a lot of other people started doing it. So when people can say smack about it all they want, they love it when other artists do the same thing. When they do Elvis in their own style and they go wild, they love it. And then they go outside the box.
Right.
So, I mean, that was when I started doing that kind of made me think, okay, what else can I do outside the box?
Right.
And when I was performing Elvis regularly, I had another band called the Stratoliners. And unfortunately, we're not together anymore because two of the members had to move. One member moved to New Hampshire. Another member, who was pretty much the founder of the group, moved back to LA. So they both went the complete opposite directions of the country.
Right.
But that was a fun band because it was all covers, but it was all 40s and 50s R&B. So you want to talk about some dirty music? This was all what was called race music at the time. And this is the stuff that, like, if Elvis got caught listening to this at home, he probably got a beating because then he was listening to this stuff. I mean, this artists like Wynonie Harris, Boom Moose Jackson, Larry Williams, Little Richard, just to name a few. And I mean, this was rock and roll before it was titled rock and roll.
Right.
Rock and roll was a feeling. Rock and roll was a style. It wasn't a genre yet. The term rock. Do you know what the term rock means?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay. So the first time they ever used the term rock and roll was in the 1920s. And it was, I can't remember her name. And I feel I really should. I really wanted to tell you the exact name of the artist and the song. And it was a jazz torchy song.
Right.
It's something like, I love the way you rock me as you roll me all night long. That was the first time rock and roll was ever used in music. And what is, I mean, you hear lyrics like that. What else are they talking about? They're talking about sex. Okay. Which is, for the fundamental, what 75% of songs are about now.
Yeah.
Even back then. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Sex makes the world go round. I mean, that's how that's how you populate this world.
Right.
Oh, God created something amazing. So when it comes to that, we as you go forward into the 40s and into the 50s, into the 60s, you start hearing the term rock.
Right.
Now, when they said, "Oh, we're going to rock, we're going to rock, we're going to rock," they're not talking about we're going to rock and roll all night. They're not necessarily saying we're going to have sex either. They're talking about a feeling. It was rebellious. It was getting in trouble. It was wild. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to rock all night. It means we're going to party. We're going to see where this night goes. You know, it was a feeling. You know, now the term roll really meant having relations. You know, that's what that really was.
Right.
And so when you talk about rock and roll, it was a sexual thing. That's why there was people protesting against it so much, because what Elvis did and what this was doing, this wasn't just changing America. This wasn't just changing music. This was changing the world.
Yeah.
And you had all these amazing artists, and in the Stratoliners, we would perform these songs. I mean, we had a song called Big 10 Inch. Big 10 Inch.
Yeah.
And you look it up. For all you on there, go on Spotify and look up Big 10 Inch by Bull Moose Jackson and tell me you don't laugh your ass off. It's a great song. We should perform it. And they talk about 10-inch ceramic records. You know, back they were made out of ceramic, and you can break them really easy by hitting them on something. But, you know, we also had another song called You Ain't Putting Out Nothing But the Lights. And this is the late 1940s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you hear about this kind of stuff in like white culture. You know, it was predominantly in black culture, but that's the kind of stuff that Elvis really loved.
Right.
And
Sure did.
love these kind of music. He also loved the gospel music. You know, people like Rosetta Tharpe. She was an amazing gospel singer. Some people say she was a rock and roll singer, but no, she wasn't. You know, it doesn't matter that she was homosexual. She wasn't. She was a gospel singer in the 1950s into the 60s, but her sound was influential to rock and roll, but she was not a rock and roll singer. She wasn't dead singing rock and roll because she was a Christian. You know, she was very, very into her gospel music. And if you listen, she has some beautiful, beautiful, beautiful gospel music. If you ever listen to her.
True.
So that was really cool doing that.
Right.
To perform the music that influenced people like Jerry Lee Lewis, influenced people like Elvis Presley, and see how it was so underground. And it was so, you have to look for it to find it.
Mm-hmm.
And then to perform as Elvis. And now, you know, as everyone else in our career, whether you're doing Elvis or not, you know, so many people in just the music career and the performing arts, live performing arts, are out of work. So I tried many, many different things when this pandemic started. You know, I tried selling an American-made mask company. Unfortunately, we couldn't compete with China's prices, so it went under. I was hanging Christmas lights. I was working on hot tubs. You know, I was doing all kinds of stuff. Now I'm starting a new job selling roofs, and I'm very, very excited about that because I can sell roofs. And even when things open back up, I can sell roofs and still do Elvis on the weekends.
Yeah, true. That's true.
I'm just going to be smarter. Like I said, I was real stupid with my money. I didn't invest in anything. I didn't invest in a future. And that's when I'm starting to look at things. But as far as you're saying now, when it comes to music, I'm performing with the Honky Tonk Band. And I created a band we call the Texas Trouble. And at first it was kind of a mix of honky tonk, rockabilly, blues. It was kind of all over the place. And some audience, well, we do kind of a hipstery audience, they loved it. But when we started performing more for actual honky tonk and country artists, they hated it.
Yeah.
Well, that's when I said, you know what, we're going to go straight honky tonk. And this is what this band's going to be, a straight honky tonk cover band. And we do stuff like George Jones, Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson. And it's a lot of fun. And we're booking a lot. We're performing at the Longhorn Saloon real soon, which is a historical saloon in the Fort Worth Stockyards. And it's right down the street at a bar where Elvis got beat up in the 50s.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, Elvis did he used to perform when he did the Triton Trails. He used to perform he performed a lot in Fort Worth. He performed at the Fort Worth at the Panther City Jamboree, and then he performed over at because the Chitlin Trails was a lot in Texas. You know, it was Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Georgia, Alabama. It was kind of just that whole area. Probably a little bit in Oklahoma, not too much, but a little bit in Oklahoma because you got Arkansas right there. So he would go perform at the Coliseum, which they had rodeos. They still have rodeos there today. And he went over one night to the Red Elephant Saloon, which is a saloon. The name of the saloon has been around since the 1800s. I mean, people like Billy the Kid would go hang out there. The Sundance Kids, Billy Cassidy, they were all known for going to the White Elephant Saloon. And now it used to be in a place. Now there's like an Earthbones or Earthworks there, but it was in downtown. Then it was moved probably like in the 30s or 20s over to the Stockyards. And Elvis went over there one night after their show at the Coliseum, and he got beat up because the Cowboys got jealous of all the cowgirls giving him attention, and they saw, who's this guy wearing pink and eyeliner? And they beat him up. I had to do the next show. I think it was like in Tyler, Texas. Black eye.
Crazy, man. That is crazy. So, dude, before I let you go, and I want you to tell everybody where they can follow you on social media, where they can find your schedule and all that stuff, because some of these folks might want to come check you out. So tell everybody where they can find. I've been putting your Facebook up there, but if there's anything else, Instagram or whatever, share that with them. Yeah,
I got I don't even remember the name of my Facebook page, but I have a page you can follow and like, and I have all my coming shows there. And then Instagram, Victor Trevino Jr. It's real simple, just like what you see on the screen right here, Victor Trevino Jr. There's no period. And then also the Texas Trouble, which is on Instagram, just the Texas Trouble. And on Facebook, you can follow the Texas Trouble at texastrouble.dfw.com.
Okay, awesome. That sounds good. Well, look, dude, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take you off the screen just for a minute, and then I'm gonna get you back on with Caden and let all these wonderful viewers that are watching ask you guys some questions for a little bit. Is that all right?
No. Yeah.
All right, man. I'll get you back on in just a few. Thanks for coming on, man. Everybody said they had a music history lesson and they loved it.
I love everybody too. Hope you guys have a wonderful time. You guys are awesome.
All right, man. We'll get you back on in a second. Ladies and gentlemen, Victor Trevino Jr., put some hearts and likes on the screen for him and let him know how much you love him, man. That was awesome. That was a lot of fun. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick 30-second commercial break. During this commercial break, please go ahead and start making your comments. If you have any questions for Caden or Vic or both of them, start putting it in the comment section. I'll put it on the screen because we're going to get both of them back on here with us for just a few minutes, and then we'll sign out for the night. But go ahead and start making those comments on those questions right now, and we'll be back in just a flash.
We have a rich legacy at the University of South Carolina, serving our state, nation, and the world. Discoveries that lead to healthier, more educated communities with students who push boundaries, persevere, because as a Gamecock, there are no limits to what you can achieve.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and we're going to go ahead and get these guys on the screen right now. Let's get Mr. Caden Gamblin back on. What's up? You didn't fall asleep on us. You're still with us, right?
Yeah, I'm still here. My hair fell down, though.
Oh, yes, it's cool. All right, let's get Vic back on with us. All right, everybody's still here? All right.
Hey, hold on. Can we hold on? I gotta do something real quick. I gotta look the part. Here we go. All right. All right, hold on a second.
That's a cool hat.
Yeah, it's
my big hat. Get my hat. It's like all the way over there.
Cool. Where'd you get?
Right.
Who made it?
I stole it.
Did you? That's right. How rock and roll of you.
All right. Now, all right. We look the part now.
I feel left out, man. This is just horrible.
Go get a hat.
All the way over there, though, man. It's in another room. All right. Let's go ahead and get some of these questions. Let's see. All right. Here's one from Sandra. I'm assuming this is for both of you guys. What was the last Elvis song you sang on stage or anywhere else?
That's a great question.
You want to kick it off?
All right. Let's say yesterday in my kitchen, I sang what song? Impossible Dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that song. That's a powerful song.
That is good.
Yeah.
Vic?
Last night I judged an Elvis contest at El Ranchito. That's another place where I got my start there. When I started performing a lot when I first started. they had Elvis contests there every twice a year. So last night they did their biannual, or was it biannual, or they do it twice a year now. And I was judge at the contest last year, and Steve Wilson won. Shane came in second. I'm very proud of him. And so we, the song that they had me come up do some songs. The last song I sang was "Are You Lonesome Tonight?"
Nice. Okay, good song. For me, well, I did a show last week, so I sang like 10 Elvis songs in that section.
But what was the last one of the show? That's what they're asking.
Well, actually, I rehearsed a couple of days ago. So let's say the last song I actually sang, if we're going to be truthful here, it's Midnight. It's Midnight.
That beautiful song.
Very pretty.
Johnny Lovett sang that one last night.
Oh, I love that song.
Yeah, great song.
All right, Vic, this one's for you. Vicky says, "Can Vic come decorate my house?"
Oh, yes. We're going to go to, I got that painting at an auction. Yeah, it's a 1930s painting I got at a Western auction. So, yeah, I love to decorate your house. But you got some, I've been to Dwight and Vicky's house before, and they have a very, very cool, unique style in their house. They have some cool gothic-y kind of stuff. And, how about this? You guys need to come, Dwight and Vicky, you guys need to come to Fort Worth. You guys stay in my guest room. And we're going to go to some oddity shop. There's a cool oddity shop called Curiosity in Dallas. And, stuff that's right up your alley would be there. So, yeah. That's cool. Let's make it happen.
All right, here's a question from Barb. Do either of you ever come to Canada? Caden?
I've been to Canada multiple times. I did the Niagara Falls Elvis Festival, Collingwood. I do a lot of shows in the Toronto, Hamilton area. And I think once things start opening back up, I'll probably be returning back there, hopefully.
Yeah. Vic?
That's exciting for you, man.
Thanks, man.
I've done any shows in Canada for a while, but I used to do a lot when we had a show called Presley Perkins, Lewis and Cash, and it was a tribute to the $1 Million Quartet. And the producer of the show was in Canada, Howard Pitch Entertainment. And so, we used to go to all over Canada, not so much West Canada, but mostly Central and Eastern Canada. But that's probably been 2 years since I've been to Canada, but I really enjoy it. Canada is, especially in the summertime.
Oh, yeah.
It's gorgeous.
It is.
Really gorgeous.
Every year when they had Collingwood, which Collingwood was the last time I was there, which is 2019, they always have it the perfect time of year. I mean, it is.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a lot of stuff out there, like in January, and it sucks.
Yeah,
sucks.
I did a show with Lou Nelson. I'm pretty sure you guys know who that is, Tom Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in April, and I got there, and man, it was up to my knee with snow.
I believe it.
I'm going, what is happening? And then it all melted. And then the day when I was starting to fly out, it started snowing again as soon as I got on the plane. I'm like, thank God I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, both times, the first 2 times I went to Canada, since my Arizona desert blood cannot handle the cold, I got the flu twice. One in December, and then I went again in February, and then I got it again in February.
Man,
it was awesome. It was a good time, I tell you what.
Crazy.
Like sinus infections.
Yeah.
I
got COVID before it was cool.
Right, Caden? You're in Tucson?
Yeah.
Man, I haven't been to Tucson in a while. I love it out there. Do you ever do shows at Casino del Sol?
No. Well, remember when you did the one, what was it, 2017? They stopped doing it after that year because of, I don't know what it was, but I went back and did a thing there, and they're like, oh, yeah, you were that kid that wanted to do it. And I'm like, yeah. And then they stopped because I wasn't 18 at that time.
Yeah, that was Kirk Brown Productions. He would do that. But you should still contact them and say, hey, when you guys start opening back up, I'd love to go out there.
I'd love to.
You should. Yeah. You should. It's a great place to play.
Yeah.
Here's a question from Monique. What is your favorite Elvis film? Caden?
My favorite Elvis film, I'd have to say, is I think it's because it's my favorite era of Elvis, and just how he looked was Loving You.
Okay.
Gotta get that jacket, dude.
I know. I'll
send you the link.
Yeah, send me the link, man. I'd love that.
Yeah, gotta get that jacket. Mine is King Creole.
That's a good one.
I love the way it was filmed. I love the way it was filmed. I can't remember. Do you remember who the director was?
I have no clue off the top of my head.
It wasn't Hal Wallace, was it?
Don't get me lying to you. So I don't know. But I just know that director it was the same director as Casablanca. And that was a type of film that Elvis wanted to keep doing. But the Colonel was like, no, we need you to be like the Matthew McConaughey of the era right now. Just be the good-looking guy that gets all the girls, that beat up everybody. And, with Matthew McConaughey now, he's doing a lot of really, like, tough, awesome roles now. And I know that's what Elvis wanted. Elvis wanted those complicated roles. He didn't want to just be singing silly songs about, I'm going to win this race, and Sweet Lemonade and all that other stuff, So it's like, that's what Elvis wanted. The Colonel kept him away from that. But when he did a film like King Creole, that was like a film, that really showed what Elvis was capable of doing. And to me, shoot me for saying this, I mean, I think a lot of them, they were just Elvis looking and singing pretty, and to sell tickets and put female butts in the seats, because if Elvis was in that screen, those girls were buying tickets. And I mean, it was a business. It was about making money in a business. And Elvis wanted his films to be about the art, but the Colonel was about that cha-ching.
That was really supposed to be a James Dean movie, right? King Creole? Like he was supposed to.
But he died before, right? And he was in it was really supposed to be James Dean, and he was in that car accident.
Yep.
Crazy.
All right, we're going to do a couple more questions here. Here's one from Brenda. What's your favorite Elvis song to sing and favorite suit to wear?
Man, so I like to do 50s, of course. It should be either the Dorsey Brothers Fleck, but I have one that's not from Lansky. I have this one I got on eBay, and those, like, the original Fleck jackets are like $400, like 400 plus. You know what I mean? I stole it for like $200, $250. And it's straight dark black and has the white flecks on it. And I like the Dorsey
one, like vintage.
Yeah. I have to show it to you. Yeah, it's nice. And then, of course, I mean, Golda May looks good. I like to do the, I think it's the Toronto show when the Golda May, he has the pendant and the gold shoes and the gold belt. That's my favorite. Cool, like when it comes to Golda May, that's what I love to wear.
And he had the tooled guitar.
Yeah. I want to get that. I want the J200 cover.
For the J200. For the Gibson.
Yeah.
Save up. Don't get the Epiphone.
Yeah.
Save up and get
the real one.
Gibson.
Yeah.
I got to stop spending money on cheeseburgers.
All right, Vic, what's your favorite Elvis song to sing and favorite suit to wear?
My favorite song to sing is Just Pretend. Yeah. I love that song. It gets people emotional. I love what you're able to do with it vocally. Yeah. I just said that in a way that I hate talking. I hate how people say things in it. But I love what you're able to do with that song vocally. And you're able to get raspy when you want to get raspy. You're able to get light when you want to get light. You can be strong and sing from the diaphragm. And you can also, when you're high notes, and you can also sing low. That song, it's a very challenging song. It's a very emotional song.
Right.
So I love performing Just Pretend. Now, my favorite costume to wear is complete opposite era. I love the Golda May. I love wearing the Golda May. My Golda Mays were custom made. They had real Swarovski Aurora Borealis crystals. So when it comes to the B&K ones, those only reflect white. I had my custom made with the Aurora Borealis. That's one thing that I'm very thankful to Kathy for. She told me, you need one with Aurora Borealis. And that one reflects, like, I want to say over 200,000 different colors. So when you wear that Golda May, if you ever get a custom made one, make sure it has Aurora Borealis Swarovski crystals, because that reflects the different colors. And especially when you have the different lights from the stage, it reflects the reds and the greens and the whites and the yellows and the ambers and the magentas, and it's cyan. I mean, I'm speaking production colors. That is just, it's beautiful. And when I first saw Harry Shahoyan singing, he did Elvis sometimes over at Legends, and I saw his Golda May, and he had the Aurora Borealis. I said, I put my deposit right then and there with Mia, and she made me one. I said Aurora Borealis all the way. So if you ever get a new Golda May, both of you guys, get the Aurora Borealis crystals.
Okay.
Crystals, they're the best.
All right, Caden. This is one for you. I believe this.
Good, because I got to go eat. Okay. So
I don't know if this is somebody kin to you or it could be your dad. I'm not sure, but
that's my dad.
He says, who's your favorite stunt guy? Better say your dad.
I mean, that's actually he's probably being funny, but this is actually a good question.
Yeah.
The best, I think one of the best stunt guys ever is probably Buster Keaton way back in the day. He's like the original, like one of the Charlie Chaplins, that era, and he did all like these crazy stunts. You see these old movies where the guy's like sitting in front of the house and then the house falls and he falls in between the window. That was like stuff he did. Like these crazy, unbelievable things. So good question, Dad.
That was good. Actually, somebody else asked that question like two people above him. So I'm glad you answered it because two other people had asked that question.
Yeah. Wait, I can. Oh wow, I can look at him. Oh yeah.
So here's one. Okay, Jacob Roman. When are we all going to do a show together? LOL.
How much money you got?
Yeah, that's the first question.
That's actually something I'd love. Like Jacob is like probably one of my greatest friends, and I'd love to do a show with Jacob. Jacob's such a nice guy. He's a doll of a man.
Him and I have talked about trying to do a show, but every time we get moving forward, something happens and we have to go backwards.
Yeah, that's how it usually seems to be. Seems to be the case most of the time.
But the good thing is it kind of, I guess you could say we're kind of going to be doing a show in 2022 because he is going to come to one of my events that I do. So,
good.
I guess you can kind of say,
yeah,
close enough, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to do one more question, and then when Vic gets back, I'll let him answer this question as well. But this is the last question we're going to do. If you go to any concert of Elvis's, which one would you go to?
Oh man, I'd love to go.
I'll wash my hands, I promise.
Good. I think in the 50s, I'd love to go to one of his Canada concerts or a concert in the Louisiana Hayride. But in the 70s, I'd love to even just watch one of his international hotel shows, or even I love Tucson. I'd love to see, because he did a show in Tucson in 1956 in June at the rodeo grounds here, and I would love to see that. And then he did another show in 1976, 75, Elvis in Tucson. There's like a whole they released that. I'd love to see those shows. So it'd be very cool.
That's cool. All right, Vic, if you could go to any concert of Elvis, which one would you go to?
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, obviously it would have been cool to be at Aloha in Hawaii.
Oh yeah.
That's such memorable. But also to sit in at the 68 comeback.
That'd be cool.
After seeing Elvis dude come in some of those lame movies and then come back like a freaking tiger out of the cave. That would have been cool. Because that concert saved his career. It really did. I mean, that concert saved his career. But me being such a purist and being so into my city, because I live in like one of the coolest cities in the world. I'm really proud of Fort Worth. I would have loved to have seen him in the 50s in Fort Worth, but either at the Coliseum or at the Fort Worth Panther City Hall in Jamboree. That would have been probably at the Panther City because it's not there anymore. That would have been really cool. But yeah, it's probably. I mean, I guess we've already seen like live on the video,
right?
Aloha from Hawaii and the 68 comeback. So my answer is going to be if I could have seen him in Fort Worth before, while he was with Sun or early RCA. I think that would have been cool to see that development, know. And he performed there so often, to go see him. Oh, we saw him in April. He's back here in September. Let's go see him again, just to see the new songs and to see the development of his performance. And then be like, oh, wow, now he's on the Ed Sullivan Show. We just saw him down the street. How cool would that have been?
That would have been cool. That would have been too cool, man. I've told this on here before. My answer, and I love answering this question, but My favorite, if I could go to any, man, it would be the homecoming show in Tupelo, man.
Oh
really
yeah,
and let me, I'll tell you guys, because I've told some of the other guys this has been on the show, but and I've showed a picture of this, but hanging right over here, I had a fan of mine. She actually bought a frame and she put some photos of Elvis from that show and then put the flyer. But dab smack in the middle is an actual ticket that somebody used to get in to see him at the fairgrounds there in Tupelo.
You have that on your wall?
I have it hanging right there.
Show us.
In a frame. I can't take the camera.
That's so cool.
I'll send you a picture later.
Which belt is he wearing? Is he wearing the belt with the little diamonds on it?
It's the belt with the diamonds.
Oh,
with the white diamonds?
Mm-hmm.
I would have loved to see the evening show of that.
Oh man.
With the the red one? When
I opened it up, I didn't realize what was in the middle because the ticket's like that big, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, this is awesome. And then she told me, and I was like, I literally got emotional. Like literally.
Yeah, I'm sure, man.
I really did. Sure. I was just like, okay, this is hanging up on my wall and nobody's touching it.
No, this is mine.
Nobody's touching it.
Armed security.
If somebody offered me $1 million, I wouldn't. We're not even going to auction off on the show. Trust me. You guys offer me all the money you want. We're not doing
that. I was saying you might earn some money if you do that.
Vic's going to get something cool. I feel it. He's going to go get something really neat. If he goes and actually if he goes and gets that belt, I'm going to steal it.
That's cool. It might be another drink. Who knows?
But man, there's so many shows, that I'd love to have gone to, man. I mean, I'd love to go to one in the 70s. That's the way it is in Vegas. Would be awesome to have seen.
Yeah.
Only if anybody that's watching this right now, if you have a time machine,
let us know.
Use it.
I'll rent it for like 2 hours or something.
Yeah, we'll pay $1 an hour.
Yeah, I'd like to. I would have even loved to have been on one of the sets he was on in the 60s or even the 50s. You know what I mean? Like doing the acting. Like I would love to see like how he was treated compared to how other people are treated.
Yeah, he's back. I'm curious what he's fixing. Are you fixing to show me something here?
I had a replica of that belt made, but I can't find it right now. Sorry. I was really excited to show it to you.
I knew that's what you were going to get.
If you go on Instagram and looked up legendary, I think it's legendary belts or legendary vintage belts, he makes a belt like that Elvis wore. It doesn't have the it doesn't have the longhorn buckle on it. You have to get your own buckle, but he can make that exact same belt for you. Wow. Actually, no, it's in my garage. Okay, hold on. No, it's not. But this is the jacket I was telling you about. This is the one that Elvis wore. This isn't the exact same one, but this is the style that Elvis wore in Loving You. If you guys, this one's been worn a lot. This is a vintage one from the 90s, but it's called the 507. And if you look at it, that's the same one that Elvis wore. Because you can see the pockets. It's got the red tab. It's got the big E. They don't do the big E anymore. Mm-hmm. Now everything has a small E, unless it's Levi's vintage collection. Right. In the back, it was pleated. Pleated on the back, 2 pleats, and then it's got the tabs. So if you want the authentic, if you just go buy a regular Levi's jacket, that model the one that you see now with the triangular pockets, right? That model didn't come out till 1967. So that's a 1967 model. This model came out in 1953.
Wow.
And so this isn't from 53. This is like from the 90s. This is when they used to make their stuff in Japan. Right. Which when the LVC collection was in Japan, it was even better. The Japanese, when it comes to like vintage when replicating stuff, is the best.
706. Yeah.
Yes. In fact, if you want to check out a cool website, look at what is it? 706 Union.
Yeah.
Man, they recreate stuff that Elvis wore.
They sure do.
And super obscure stuff.
I mean, and it's not cheap, but it's freaking cool.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's worth it.
The one thing I have that I'd like to show you guys, my mom was like, "Here, you forgot about this." It's like, "Oh, okay." I don't know if this is actually like worth a lot or like actually rare, but so I forget what company did it, but they took film from this is from the Dorsey show. This is film from the original camera that filmed Elvis doing the "I Was the One," where he wore the flak jacket and the white shirt and the black tie. This is like a direct film from that.
From like someone there at the audience.
Yeah, and they framed it and put it in a thing. And
that is awesome.
Yeah, and that's my favorite. That's my favorite.
Favorite look.
Yeah, my favorite look. That's one of my favorite looks is the white and the black. Because nobody does that. You know what I mean? So yeah,
that is cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, guys, man, look, I just want to tell you all thank you for coming on the show. Man, it has been fun. People have thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm seeing comments like crazy saying that they've thoroughly enjoyed the show, the stories, the friendship amongst us three. I've seen that quite a bit. So thank you guys for coming on. I'll definitely have you on again in the future. And I really appreciate it. And you guys take care.
You too, man.
Thanks for having us, Austin. It was a great time. Thank you so
nice
much.
Awesome.
All right, man. See you later. All right, ladies and gentlemen, put some hearts on the screen for Caden Gamblin and Victor Trevino Jr. Man, that was awesome. That was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for all the great comments. I know they appreciate it as well. And thank y'all so much for tuning in tonight. Well, before you go, ladies and gentlemen, please do me one more favor. If you're still tuning in, like, share, comment on this video, share it across social media, Facebook, YouTube. Please subscribe to the What's Up with Austin YouTube channel. And I want to say one thing. If you had fun tonight, go ahead and comment in the comment section the word fun. Just put fun. If you had fun, let me know. That's the way for you to let me know, is write fun in the comment section right now if you had fun tonight, because I hope you guys did. But please like, share, comment, and share this video so much if you don't mind. And also hit that like button on the Austin Be Entertainer like page if you're watching on my Facebook page tonight. And also follow me on Instagram, Austin Be Entertainment. I greatly appreciate that. And again, subscribe to the What's Up with Austin YouTube channel. If you'd like to send a donation to the show, you can do that as well via PayPal to AIElvisLive1@gmail.com. Also, the link to send a donation is in the description. Just click on that, and it'll take you where you need to go. And again, put some hearts and likes on the screen for Caden Gamblin and Victor Trevino Jr. I really appreciate them coming on tonight. It was a lot of fun. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, that we have a show coming up next week, January the 30th, Abbeville Opry House. Myself and Jacob Better, come see us there. And the week after that, February 6th, Michael Chambliss, Samantha Chambliss, myself, and my good friend Dwight Bozeman, Honey Pass, South Carolina. And then last but not least, Grand Majestic Theater, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Elvis Ultimate Reflections is back for a third time. We're super excited about this, so come and check us out there as well. God bless you guys. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Our next episode will be February the 25th, because as you all know, we're doing this monthly now instead of weekly. I have a couple of guests, getting them in line right now. I think you will enjoy them, and will announce them probably the 1st of February. So thank you all for tuning in tonight. God bless y'all. I love y'all very much, and hope to see you in person soon. Adios.